What if the loudest voice you've ever heard has never spoken out loud? It wakes up before you do. It follows you into every room. It watches every decision, every mistake, every fear. And somehow, you've spent your entire life believing it was you. It tells you who you are, what you're capable of, what you deserve, what you should fear. It rarely screams. It whispers, quietly enough that you stop questioning it. Until one day, its opinions become your identity. Psychologists have a name for this constant inner conversation: mind chattering. Most people believe this voice exists to help them. But does it? Or has it simply become a recorder, playing old messages over and over again? Think about it. No one enters this world already believing they're not enough. No child is born ashamed of making mistakes. Those ideas arrive later. One sentence spoken carelessly, one humiliation never forgotten. One moment that quietly teaches the mind what to expect from the world. The strange thing is, the mind doesn't always remember what happened. It remembers how it felt. And feelings, repeated often enough, begin to sound like facts. Without realizing it, the mind starts finishing every new experience with an old conclusion. You hesitate once, and suddenly it whispers, "Maybe this isn't for you." Someone walks away, and it quietly says, "People always leave." One failure becomes a permanent prediction. Not because reality changed, because the story inside your mind never did. And the longer that story survives, the harder it becomes to remember that it was only a story to begin with. But what if the voice you've trusted for years was never telling you who you are? What if it was only repeating what it had learned to fear? The human brain didn't evolve to chase happiness. It evolved to notice danger before comfort. To survive was always more important than to feel at peace. That's why your mind keeps returning to painful memories. Not because it enjoys suffering, because somewhere it still believes those memories might save your life. The brain is constantly trying to predict what comes next. It rarely walks into tomorrow without carrying yesterday with it. One betrayal becomes a reason to distrust everyone. One failure becomes a reason to fear every opportunity. One disappointment becomes a lens through which the entire future is quietly judged. Nothing outside you changed, only the filter through which you began seeing the world. And over time, that filter becomes invisible. You no longer realize you're looking through it. You simply believe that this is reality. The strange thing is, the voice never forces you to obey. It only repeats the same story until resistance feels impossible. And repetition has a quiet power. It can make an illusion feel familiar, and familiarity can make almost anything feel true. So the prison was never built overnight. It was built one sentence at a time, one belief, one fear, one memory that refused to leave. The tragedy isn't that the voice speaks. The tragedy is how rarely we stop to ask whether it deserves to be believed. Perhaps the question was never whether the voice would speak. It always will. The real question is different. When it speaks, whose voice are you really hearing? The one that reflects who you are today? Or the echo of a wound that healed long ago but never stopped telling its story? Because sometimes the loudest voice inside your mind isn't revealing your identity. It's only protecting an old version of you that no longer exists. And perhaps real freedom doesn't begin the day the voice disappears. Perhaps it begins the moment you stop confusing its whispers with the truth and quietly realize that not every thought deserves to become a belief.